Hello and welcome to this edition of CBSE with Sudhir, where we are going to start with the social science syllabus. Social science का पूरा syllabus जिसमें कि 5 भाग हैं: हिस्ट्री, कल्चरल हिस्ट्री, इकोनॉमिक्स, geography and civics oblique political science. ये पांचों भाग will be covered on this particular channel for students of class 6. The book is called Exploring Society, India and Beyond. This is the new book which has been introduced for the batch of 2024-2025. So मजा आएगा, नई बुक पढ़ने को मिलेगा, काफी सारे changes हैं from the previous book. So you are going to read, the first batch is going to read something brand new. I am recording this in the month of July 2024. So this particular video, I'm going to give you an introduction as to what to expect in this particular chapter. So this is chapter number 1, introducing why social science. Why should you study social science? In fact, when I was a student, it was not called social science. It was called social studies. Okay. Subsequently, इसका नाम, इस सब्जेक्ट का नाम social science रखा गया क्योंकि ये पाया गया, however, though it is different from general science, as in physics, chemistry, biology, it is also having to do something with science. For instance, when you study a subject like geography and you study a chapter on, let's say, agriculture, the kind of crops that are grown, obviously that has got something in common with biology, as in botany, the study of plants. Similarly, when you're talking about things like climate, which is all part of geography, it has to do something with physics, right? How different phenomena take place, leading to rainfall, leading to evaporation, leading to drought like condition. जब सूखा पड़ता है, जब बारिश होती है, वो सब क्यों होता है? उसमें थोड़ा थोड़ा physics भी होता है. So social studies also has to do with science, which is why it is now called social science. तो आपके सिलेबस में आपको इस साल क्या क्या पढ़ना है? पहला तो ये है Theme A, which is the first set of chapters, is to do with geography. The first one is locating places on the earth, and for that, I strongly recommend that everyone should have an India map, at least, if not a world map, at least an India map. When I was a student, I used to have both an India map and a world map in my study room. So what happened was, whenever you're free, you keep looking at the world map, you keep looking at the India map, you get familiar with different places in different parts of the country and the world, right? So the familiarity increases. So I think it's a great exercise. An India map, I know, and I will show it to you in the next video, the map that I have right before me, the India map. It costs just 110 rupees, right? A world map would probably be at the same cost or maybe a little more, right? So locating places on the earth is the first chapter, oceans and continents and landforms and life. This is about geography. The second one is about history, where you talk about sources of history, India, that is Bharat, and the beginning of Indian civilizations. Then there is a third set, which is to do with what I call heritage and cultural history of India, where you're talking about India's cultural roots and also unity and diversity and many in the one. These are the names of the chapters. The set 4 is to do with civics or political science, in which there are 4 chapters. What is civics about? Civics is about, see, you are all pretty young children, but in a few years, you will all have the right to vote. तो आपको ये मालूम होना चाहिए कि आपको किसके लिए वोट करना है. And I have done political science as one of my key subjects in university, so I know a lot about political science. So you will talk about local government, you'll talk about local government in rural areas. अभी this is like the municipality जो आपका कचरा साफ करती है, जो आपको बिजली प्रोवाइड करती है, right? If you are living in a city, if you are living in a village, the panchayat, the sarpanch of the panchayat, they are all part of the local government in the rural areas. ये सब बताऊंगा मैं, okay? Then we are talking about family and community, family as a unit, but you're talking about the family living within a community, and then about governance. कि गवर्नेंस आखिर होता क्या है? You know, we keep saying, अरे नरेंद्र मोदी ने ये नहीं किया, opposition ने, राहुल गांधी ने ये नहीं किया. But what exactly are their roles supposed to be within the entire governance setup? That's what we will talk about. And finally, the last set is economics, 2 chapters, economic activities around us and the value of work. So this is going to be fascinating. And I will make it वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू विद लॉट्स ऑफ एग्जांपल्स, ओके, आपके समझ में आ सके और ये नहीं लगे कि रट्टा। अगर कोई भी आपका सीनियर आपको ये कहता है कि रट्टा मारो हिस्ट्री सिविक्स को, तो उसको बोलो चल फुट। तो सुनना नहीं बात को, वी विल मेक इट सो इंटरेस्टिंग फॉर यू दैट आपको रट्टा मारने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, सिर्फ समझो। बिकॉज ज्योग्राफी इज अबाउट द वर्ल्ड अराउंड अस, economics is about how you will spend your money, civics I just now told you it's about who you elect in order to ensure that they provide you with the facilities, कि किसको आप वोट दें ताकि आपको सारी सुविधाएं मिले। ये नहीं कि कचरा साफ नहीं हुआ है, रोड ठीक नहीं है, बारिश के समय पर रोड वाटर लॉक्ड है, अगर वो सब हो तो किसको कंप्लेंट करना चाहिए। ऑल दैट इज समथिंग विच यू शुड बी अवेयर ऑफ। हिस्ट्री इज अबाउट वेयर वी कम फ्रॉम, एंड वो एक कहावत है ना, दोज हु फॉरगेट हिस्ट्री आर कंडेम्ड टू रिपीट इट, ओके, in the sense that you should learn from the mistakes that were made in history। हर कोई मिस्टेक्स करता है, आज हम मिस्टेक्स करेंगे, आगे के जनरेशंस इन मिस्टेक्स को पढ़ेंगे एंड दे विल एंश्योर कि वो वही गलतियों को फिर से नहीं दोहराएं, they don't repeat those mistakes, so which is why, and of course cultural roots, you need to know about where we exactly come from, because that's something very important, we need to take pride in our country, okay, in our great country। Let's move ahead and look at it in more detail. Now this photograph has been put, okay, and this is about a hilly area, there is a river flowing there, okay, there is a small thatched hut which has been put there, there is more vegetation, and there is some kind of a it's a tar road, but it's not like a very well finished road, okay। So the questions that are being asked, and someone is living here because clothes are hung out there. Observe the picture above, what do you notice? Where does the water in the lake come from? It's a lake, not a river maybe, but it would have come from some river. So it is coming, maybe it is part of a river, or it is a static kind of a body. Who made, and it is as a result of evaporation and rainfall, because of which the lake gets full. Who made the road and why? It must have been made by the local government in order to provide access कि किसी को वहां पर क्या बोलते हैं, तालाब में आकर, लेक में आकर, they have to collect water, okay, and take it to the urban areas for drinking, so they need the road to come so the tanker can come and fill in water and take it for drinking purposes. What could be the activities of people? They could be doing fishing, right, they could be doing some kind of farming, अगर आसपास में कोई लैंड है, okay, यहाँ पर कोई लैंड वगैरह है, या उस तरफ अगर आप देखें, दूसरी तरफ देखें, so you are seeing a lot of fields etc, so they must be doing what? They must be doing agriculture out there, right? So they must be doing agriculture out there. Then what could be the history, their future? Their future is that not very bleak, because they need to have a school where they can send their children to, so the future does not look very bright unless they get the amenities to make their life better. What could be their history? They may have been living here, they may be migrants, कहीं और से आए होंगे, nomads होंगे जो कि कहीं और से आए होंगे। So you're just looking at a photograph and imagining कि क्या क्या हो रहा होगा उस जगह पर। Isn't that fascinating? You should be able to let your imagination run wild. हमेशा at your age you should think, ये भी हो सकता था, ये भी हो सकता था। तुम एक कहानी बनाओ, आपका क्लासमेट एक कहानी बनाएगा, आप अपनी कहानियों को एक दूसरे को सुनाए, ये देखें कि किसकी कहानी बेहतर थी। Maybe you can combine and make an even better story. Those are the kind of activities which you should do in your classroom. Write down your answers and discuss with your classmates. Looking at that, now we look at the next picture, वो भी आगे दिखाता हूं, वो पढ़ेंगे। Okay, so what do you do about it? Now this is another photograph. Now this is about a glitzy building in a city, in a big city. So this is probably an area where a lot of software employees work, right? Your parents may be software employees working in some big IT firms. So what do? They work here and connect with the world, look at data analytics, artificial intelligence, आजकल तो क्या क्या है, machine learning, deep learning, everything. So a lot of that kind of high tech work probably takes place behind these buildings, or probably these buildings are to do with the financial sector, people involved in the field of stocks or mutual funds or big macro financial issues. Then you have a car, a modern car going. The road is much more refined kind of road, right? You have more vehicles which are again high-end SUVs. So you see, this is the urban part of India. That was the rural part of India. So the two look the same. So here you have not, I wouldn't say artificial greenery, but you have, the trees which are planted here to provide greenery. Wahan par natural greenery here because there is a mountain there, right? So that's the difference. So you can make a story about, one person who lived there, one brother who lived there, and another brother who lived there in the city. Sister. So you can make fascinating stories. That's what you can actually do. So what happens is that there is rapid progress in technology, what I just now talked about, which is changing our lives in many ways. काफी, अभी आप देखें, यूपीआई से अगर आपको इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल पे करना हो, टक करके 2 बटन दबाओ, आपका इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल पे हो जाता था. पहले के जमाने में वहां पर लाइन में खड़े होकर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बिल देना पड़ता था. ये 10-20 साल पहले तक ऐसा होता था, right? Life has changed so much because of technology. That's very important for you to know. On the other hand, the world is witnessing multiple wars, armed conflicts, and rising social tensions. Social tensions, कि आदमी एक दूसरे से नफरत करता है, लड़ाई करता है, युद्ध कर ले जाता है. अभी रशिया और यूक्रेन के बीच में युद्ध कितने महीनों से चल रहा है. इजराइल और जो गाजा स्ट्रिप के अराउंड देयर इज war happening around the entire Palestine issue, the Hamas being involved. So wars are happening all over the world. So there is a lot of social tension. So आपको हिस्ट्री और सिविक्स और कल्चरल हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी पढ़ने की जरूरत इसलिए है ताकि आप इन सभी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स के बारे में ज्यादा अच्छी तरह से समझ पाएं. यू बिकम ए मोर अवेयर सिटीजन. ये काफी इंपॉर्टेंट बात मैंने आपको बताई है. You at your age also should be more aware citizens. You should be taking part in different kind of public speaking competitions. ताकि आप you speak as a citizen, let's say as a representative of Africa, and speak on behalf of the people of Africa or of the people of Palestine or of the people of Israel and put forth your point of view. Don't be obsessed. And this is what I keep saying. I am not like any other teacher out here. I keep saying, don't be, ये तो होता रहेगा, इसमें मार्क्स आते रहेंगे. इसमें अगर आपके 100 में से 85 मार्क्स भी आए तो भी चलेगा. But provided you are able to do much more outside the classroom. The real world is outside the classroom, my friend. That's what you should be bothered about. And if there are any parents listening to this, I want you to encourage your child at this age to explore the world outside the classroom. इसमें 85, 90, 95 आए, it does not matter beyond a point. But what is the learning you take from this is more important. Okay, इसको रट्टा लगा के वहां लिखने से and वो हो गया और मैं 30 मार्क हूं, मैं तो बहुत बढ़िया हूं. No. Are you able to go on stage and speak in front of 500 people? That's a test. If you are able to do that, you are great. I salute you. That's what I want each one of my students out here on CBSE with Sudhir to do. Our planet's natural environment is under great stress. There is climate change. There is more carbon footprint. So global warming, all these are real threats. The glaciers are melting. Imagine something happens and, countries get destroyed, cities get destroyed, provinces get destroyed. What will you do? We have seen what happens when an earthquake happens. We have seen when a tsunami strikes, right? The world over, more and more people wonder, how do we solve the problems facing humanity? How can our societies learn to live in peace and harmony? How can we protect this beautiful earth which we all share? Now, these are all our worries. These are our concerns. In sabki humko kafi chinta hai, right? And protected. Now, these fundamental questions are simple, but the answers are not. They cannot be simple because human societies are very diverse. Forget the world. Even within India, a person in Tamil Nadu will think very differently from a person in Uttar Pradesh, will think very differently from a person in Maharashtra, will think very differently from a person living in Meghalaya, right? Everyone's cultural background, which is why you have 2 chapters on cultural history. We need to know, why is it that a person in Nagaland thinks very different from a person in Karnataka? That's very important. And unless you know that, आप एक दूसरे को समझ नहीं पाएंगे, even though technically you are all Indians. You're holding a Republic of India का passport. That's important. Okay. We first understand the world, so you may wonder whether this is a science. जो मैंने शुरुआत में बात की, like say physics or chemistry, it is not a science exactly like physics and chemistry. यहां पर experiments नहीं होते हैं, लेकिन the discipline यानी कि जो subject है, it does use scientific methods wherever possible. जहां पर भी हो सके scientific methods का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, इसीलिए आजकल इसको सोशल साइंस कहते हैं, सोशल स्टडीज नहीं कहते हैं. You will see a few examples in this textbook, but its focus is on human society. उसमें फोकस रहता है on the experiment, the success of the experiment, the invention, the discovery, the answers to the questions. यहां पर फोकस रहता है ह्यूमन सोसाइटी पर, यानी कि आप, आपके पेरेंट्स, आपके ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स, मैं, मेरी फैमिली, मेरा नेबरहुड, मेरा आस पड़ोस, मेरा स्टेट, मेरा भारत, राइट? वी विल बी फोकसिंग ऑन द ह्यूमन सोसाइटी आउट हियर. Is again too diverse to allow the kind of set procedures and fixed results the sciences have come from. साइंस कहेगा कि इसका आंसर दो ही हो सकता है, लेकिन क्या वो दो केरला और आसाम दोनों में एक्सेप्टेबल होगा? हो सकता अलग हो. इनफैक्ट सेकंड चैप्टर में ही देखेंगे, सेकेंड चैप्टर में ही देखेंगे कि 5 बजे शाम को या 6 बजे शाम को ऐसा क्यों होता है कि गुवाहाटी का मौसम राजकोट जो कि गुजरात में है उसके मौसम से बिल्कुल अलग रहता है. Why is the weather very different from in Guwahati at 6 o'clock in the evening from Rajkot in Gujarat? There is a reason for that. Fascinating reason, because of time zones. We will study about that in the next video. Okay. Now, social science has many sub-disciplines. Geography, history, political science, economics, sociology is about society. Anthropology is about how we all came from. Archaeology is about excavation, Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, etc. Psychology is about the individual. Sociology and psychology are slightly similar. It's about the study of human beings, but that's about societies. This is about the individual. Okay, and a few more. You need not feel intimidated because आपको ये सारे terms के हिसाब से नहीं पढ़ाया जाएगा 6th क्लास में. So धीरज रखिए, गदाधारी भीम, धीरज रखिए. ओके, सो दैट्स ऑल इट इज. जो माइंड मैप जो मैंने शुरू में दिखाया, नाउ उसी को आगे बढ़ाया है जो मैंने माइंड मैप पे आपको ऑलरेडी बता दिया है. सो पहला थीम, इट्स अबाउट द जियोग्राफी. ओके, ये आप पढ़ लीजिए, वॉट एवर आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड ऑलरेडी ऑन द माइंड मैप इटसेल्फ. सो where can we get the geography, the oceans, mountains, rivers, etc. It's about in the first 3 chapters. Fascinating chapters. The second one is about the history. टेपेस्ट्री के बारे में बताया है. आपके घर में शायद टेपेस्ट्री होगा, एक बड़ा टेपेस्ट्री जिसमें काफी सारे ड्राइंग्स वगैरह होंगे, उसको टेपेस्ट्री कहते हैं. So it's a large piece of canvas like cloth, usually kept as a wall hanging with pictures and designs on it. Usually historical narrative. जैसे भगवान राम सीता और लक्ष्मण के साथ जब वनवास के लिए गए, उसको एक तरह से एक डिपिक्ट किया जाता है. दैट बिकम्स ए टेपेस्ट्री. कैसे रावण को हराकर वापस अयोध्या आए, दैट कैन बी अनदर टेपेस्ट्री. सो दोज आर ऑल टेलिंग डिफरेंट स्टोरीज. सो दैट इज अबाउट द हिस्ट्री पार्ट ऑफ इट. देन द थर्ड वन इज अबाउट द कल्चरल हेरिटेज, जिसके बारे में मैंने बताया. चौथा है पॉलिटिकल साइंस या सिविक्स, विच इज अबाउट गवर्नेंस and democracy. India is the largest democracy in terms of the number of people who take part in the entire electoral process. Okay, and the last one is about the economic life around us. Ki the money, the food, the clothing, the shelter, the access to water, education, everything, right? So all that is in the economics wala सेक्शन में. सो दैट इज अबाउट दी 5 पार्ट्स जो कि आपको अपने सिलेबस में इस पूरे साल 6ठी कक्षा में पढ़ना है. ओके, एंड आई विल कीप एक्सप्लेनिंग इट बोथ इन इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी सो दैट स्टूडेंट्स इन साउथ इंडिया, ईस्ट इंडिया, नॉर्थ इंडिया, एवरीवन कैन अंडरस्टैंड टुगेदर. वी कैन बी, एज आई कॉल इट, इट इज the mini India classroom. This classroom is a mini India where everyone can study together. Okay, so that is what is this entire chapter all about. There is this interesting thing that there are lots of small pieces of information which have been given in different languages also. So it will give you an idea. So if you are living in, let's say, Lucknow, you should be able to understand how a little bit about Tamil history, Tamil literature, right? Because we are all part of the same great country. So that's something which you need to understand. The common cultural heritage. What were the kind of kings? Who were the kind of kings who ruled over Kerala, Tamil Nadu? How are they different from the Mughals who ruled over large parts of North India, वो सब समझने की जरूरत है. ओके, और वो सब मैं आपको कहानियों के साथ साथ काफी कुछ पढ़ाऊंगा. तो यहां तक हम आ गए. अगले वीडियो में वी विल लुक एट दिस फर्स्ट चैप्टर which is called locating places on the earth. ये होगा अगले वीडियो में. This was meant to be an introduction to social science for students of CBSE class 6. As I promised to you right at the beginning, मजा बहुत आएगा, काफी कुछ नया सीखने को मिलेगा. So fasten your seat belts and be ready for the flight of social science with me here on CBSE with Sudhir. Share the video with your classmates, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon ताकि आपको नोटिफिकेशन मिले जब भी कोई नया वीडियो पोस्ट हो. Last bit, a little later, okay, I will look at different reference books. अगर आप में से किसी स्टूडेंट को रेफरेंस बुक्स की जरूरत हो, मुझे नहीं मालूम कि कौन से अच्छे हैं, मुझे ये भी नहीं मालूम कि कौन से मार्केट में है, राइट? Once they come in, I will have a look at it and I will recommend depending on कौन से अच्छे हैं. I'll go and pick up the ones and I will have a look at it. जो भी अच्छा है, I will recommend it to you and it's up to you whether you want to consult. Otherwise, जहां तक समझने की बात है, सब कुछ यहां पर समझाया जाएगा. Everything will be explained in great detail. English, Hindi, General Science and Social Science for students of class 6. Okay, Tata, bye bye. Thank you very much. I'll see you now in the next video, which is called Locating Places on the Earth. Tata, bye bye.